Belief is something that creates things that weren't there before. If you believe that you can fly, you invent a machine that allows you to fly. And that is what happens when people of belief come together. They create some kind of magic. And the Angel project definitely came from that shared inspiration that comes from belief. It was an Islamic member of the committee who said, do you realise that angels are a very, very important part of the Islamic culture? And it's so interesting to know about people of other faiths. And we thought, why don't we do something where we share each other's angels and talk about them and see how across many different faiths, angels play a part. We said, let's have a competition. Let's try and get people to produce stories and images about the Angel of Brighton Hove. And let's open it up to the whole city. We had workshops, rooms full of kids sticking things together, people painting, people drawing, craft workshops, design workshops. Children have a powerful connection with their imagination and their creative side, and so their acceptance and understanding of angels is almost like breathing. And Downs Junior, the whole school just picked it up and ran with it. They just did wonderful things. They had written input and they also had wonderful pictures. And in fact, I think they came second, third and fourth in the youngest section.
The kids' reaction was excitement to start with, because they all know about angels, or they think they know about angels. They were shocked to find that Angel Gabriel was in other religions. And what it helped me do is make them think about who they were sitting next to in the classroom. What made them different to themselves? Oh, do you do that at home? Or what do you do? Do you go to church on a Sunday? Do you go to a synagogue? What do you do in a synagogue? What do you do in a mosque? They were very, very engaged with asking questions. And I think you grow with this knowledge and awareness and tolerance and respect. You grow with that. It makes you a much more rounded person as an adult.
The library was so supportive, just like the museum. They had lots of ideas, they came up with artwork, and they found New Writing South to help us find a judge, but also to help us run a workshop. And they got a really good poet, Dean Atter, to come along and run this poetry workshop about angels that was totally inspirational.
So the line I found was, can you risk opening your eyes? ?
I found poets I knew, but poems I didn't know they'd written about angels, and Billy Collins's poem about angels and Martin Esprada's poem Imagine the Angels of Bread. I'd recommend people look that one up in particular because it speaks to current times and possibility and hope despite terrible things happening in the world. And I think that's something that angels represent as well, hope, and we need more of that.
Angels do exist across the different religions. Why not, make that the point of contact, because we're living next to each other anyway, I guess, and being able to talk about those similarities, I think is really nice. Really nice idea, yeah.
I was raised Muslim, so I drew inspiration from the Islamic understanding of angels. The writing, obviously, I found fruitful, but just the actual thinking of it as well. I haven't done RE for a while, I haven't been in school for a while, and I haven't been going to a mosque or anything like that for a long time. So to think about these things and to also read about the angels and the different interpretations of them according to different faiths as well is interesting. It's nice just to learn. I think that's the best thing about this. You just learn and expand your understanding of things which you don't normally think about.
Who wants to read?
When people get to know each other, even just one person from a faith community that's different from my own, if I know even just one person, then I am much less likely to harbour feelings of antipathy or distrust or hatred towards a whole group. The Interfaith Contact Group is very much a grassroots organisation, And what we aim to do is to bring just ordinary people together, just so that people can get to know other people from backgrounds that are different from their own and relate to them just as human beings. It's about forging personal relationships and actually getting to know people and changing hearts and minds. So although you can teach people, it doesn't necessarily affect hearts, the top-down approach. It teaches people the right thing to do, but it doesn't necessarily change their reasons for wanting or not wanting to do it. Whereas working from the grassroots, I think is the best way of changing hearts as well as minds.
When I thought of an Angel of Brighton, I just thought of some massive angel making paper chains to show all of the people of Brighton are joined together. And then her halo is it's like a graffiti on one of the beach houses.
Do you have a faith or?
I'm not really sure right now, I don't have a faith. I do believe in angels though, I do believe in them.
Lots of people imagine them in different ways, but I imagine them with big feathery wings like a bird, and then white dresses and a halo on top. I think they sort of mean like they protect Brighton and watch over it, and for some reason I think they sort of represent life and death.
Okay folks, so we'll look at this camera first. Nice smiles.
I think people are really keen to express their views and their feelings about the city as well. That's what we heard today from those that were talking about their work. You know, they get a really lovely feel about the communities in the city and the atmosphere and the sea and even the seagulls, or you know, they love it. It really came through how much they love the city.
So angels are these rather mysterious presences of service and of compassion. I'd like to suggest to each and every one of you present today that you yourself might just be an angel.
Sometimes it's easier for ordinary people to let go of positions that they have to hold. You know, leaders tend to have to toe the party line on a particular issue. But unless we are able to start having some difficult conversations, actually, you know, we're not really going to progress very far. At some point, we do have to get into some difficult territory. And of course, there are lots of difficult territories. They could be political things, like, for example, the conflict between Israel and Palestine. They could be personal issues like people's sexual identity or same-sex relationships. It could be issues to do with the beginning of life and the end of life, which people have strong views about. But if we get to know people on a personal, individual level, then I think it is possible for some of these conversations to happen.
I think sometimes people feel a bit nervous about talking about direct spiritual things, but actually when you personify it in the idea of an angel, it becomes much easier to talk about and much easier to actually see the similarities between the angels in your life, as it were, and those in the lives of others. I will just tell you this: only if there are angels in your head will you ever possibly see one. What I think about angels is that I want them to be understood as something ordinary as well as something extraordinary. So I think I probably put them on a bench on the Downs, or in the middle of a shopping centre, or just in places perhaps you don't necessarily expect to find them.
The Angel Project has taught me an enormous amount. It's taught me Brighton has enormous pride in its diversity and welcomes its own difference. And the entries to the competition were fascinating. The chap who won the adult angel competition produced this image which affected a lot of people very, very deeply. It's an image of the peace statue overlooking all the street art of Brighton Hove, in all its weirdness and unexpectedness, all the different funny little images, just overlooking the whole lot as if blessing it all. And you'll never be able to tell whether it's the city that produced the Angel project or whether it's us that produced it because we are part of the city. We'll never know.